Hi there, Laura Wilson from Gold Star Work. Today we're on day 19 of building our daily art habit. Now today I'm going to be carrying on with my apple painting. I haven't got much time today. I've only just got home after being out all day, and in about 3/4 of an hour I've got someone coming around the house for another appointment. So I'm just fitting in the art where I can, so it's going to be a very quick painting session today. But last night I was looking at my apple painting and decided that I didn't have enough contrast in it. There wasn't enough lights and darks, especially around where my centre of interest was going to be. So I took a black and white photo of that and had a bit of a study, and I took a black and white photo of my still life as well, and that's really helped me to sketch in where I need to make the changes to make it a more dynamic looking painting. And we're still doing the tonal study, so there's no other colour on there as yet. But we're just going to have a quick painting session today, and I hope you're getting your paints out too. So let's go get painting. I've been studying my black and white photo, and I've decided where I need to make a few changes in my tones to make this painting stand out more and make it more interesting. So I'm going to paint those in now. As I said before, I've got very little time today. Seems to be what I'm always saying. I've got about 3/4 of an hour now. I had just on an hour, but I studied my black and white photo, and I used my pencils. Got a white charcoaly pencil, chalk pencil, and a black charcoal pencil, and I put in my black and white lines just to see exactly where I need my darks and my lights, because I was getting a little bit confused before. So if you're finding that your picture's not doing what you want it to do, it's not popping the way you'd like, or it just doesn't seem to be quite right, one of the things you can do to help you figure out what's wrong is to take a black and white photo and then study that photo. And I also took a black and white picture of the actual scene itself that I'd set up, the still life that I'd set up, and that was really helpful, looking at that. So I'm keeping in mind that I'm going to want my areas of greatest contrast where my centre of interest is, which is going to be around this area. So I'm keeping that in mind as I'm painting. So I know I want this dark and have a light here, because you want your darkest areas of contrast to be where your centre of interest is. Doesn't have to be the darkest bit in the painting. I know a lot of people, and I have said it too, that you want your darkest dark and your lightest lights in your area of your painting that you're trying to create that interest in. But that's not strictly true. You just need the area with the most contrast. So it could be quite dark over here, but if there's not a lot of contrast, that's still going to sink more into the background than over here, where you've got a light and a dark and a hard edge. And that's the other thing I'll be thinking about, is some of these edges are going to be soft and some of these edges are going to be hard. So I want softer edges on some areas to kind of sink it into the background, and in other areas I'm going to want to have harder edges to make your eye look more that way. So you can use lots of little tricks to make people look where you want them to. Can get quite confusing when you're learning, so you don't try and do everything at once. Just learn about a little bit and put that into practice and get that particular thing in your head so you know what you're doing before you try and include another one. The other thing I wanted to do is darken up some of the outline areas, like the edges, so that your focus was going more into the painting. I know this is only a study, but because it's a study, I can play around with it and get different ideas and things on how I want the actual painting to go. So this is the time to actually play and figure out what I'm trying to do. I don't want as much contrast down in the corners as what I'm going to have over here, so I'm trying to make my colours not so dark and not so light in those areas, and also don't want too much detail. I'm just trying to give that kind of suggestion that there's something going on there. So that's all I've got time for today, but I think I've really improved the tone of that picture, and I'll include a black and white, and you can see the difference between what it was looking like before and what it was looking like now. I can see here that I need to soften this edge a bit because it is a bit harsh, and this is where I want my centre of interest to go. So it is getting there, and as I said, this is still the undercoat, so I've still got the colour to come in, and I'm pretty happy with the way it's shaping up. As I said, I didn't have much time to paint today, but I hope you got your paints out too, and we will see you tomorrow. So happy painting, everyone. Bye.